Don't kill me, man! Don't kill me! Don't kill me, man!
I'm not going to kill you. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell all your friends about me.
What are you?
Oh my goodness, what is up, folks? As the title read, this is episode 35, and this is first appearances only. Golly, it's been a good week and a half. It has been a superb week and a half, maybe two. I've been, just waiting for some of these to come in so that I could put them in all in one episode. But this is literally all within the last week and a half, two at the most. So let's just get on. I mean, this is number ones, and only number one appearances.
Don't say that. You're going to learn today.
So, this is New Teen Titans from number 44 from 1984. I paid $25 for this bad boy. This is the first appearance of Dick Grayson as Nightwing. It's also the first appearance of Joseph Wilson as Jericho. It's the first appearance of the Jackal. I did not know this. I know I'd seen these characters before, but I didn't know what was going on. Granted, I've been around comic books back and forth for a while, but I'm still building my knowledge base on stuff. So, the actual first appearance of Nightwing, it actually took place back in Superman 158, and Superman was Nightwing. The story has to do with him and Jimmy Olsen going to some other planet, and they assume the roles of Nightwing and like Flamebird or something like that, Jimmy Olsen's character. But anyways, just a little bit of history, just in case you didn't know that. That is the very first appearance of Nightwing. So, this is a really nice copy as well, especially for $25. I'd expect this to be in the 8.5, hopefully in the 9.2, 9.4 range. God only knows, though, whenever it comes to grading. So, let's move right along. Next comic up is Avengers number 80. This has some significance to me. It is from 1970. I paid $66 for this. This is the first appearance of William Talltrees, a.k.a. Red Wolf, and it's also the first appearance of his companion, Lobo. Red Wolf, that's Marvel's first Native American superhero, and it took until 1970 for Marvel to get there. There's also, he was created by Roy Thomas and John Buscema, and there's a current ongoing series of Red Wolf. I've talked about this a little bit. I'm reading it right now. I've read 1 and 2. 3 has not come out yet, but this is in a really good grade. This is in a 7.5 blue label. So I'm very, very happy to get this comic book. Pow. Alright, that ain't it, folks. I think, in my personal opinion, it only gets better from here. Next one. This is Iron Fist number 14. This is the very first appearance of Victor Creed, aka Sabretooth. This was created by Chris Claremont and John Byrne. Sabretooth was originally portrayed as a non-powered serial killer, but was later written as a mutant possessing bestial superhuman abilities. For example, he has rapid healing factor, razor-sharp fangs and claws. He also has superhuman senses. He's been a long-time enemy of Wolverine, and y'all have seen from my video, I got the first appearance of Wolverine, his actual first full appearance, Incredible Hulk 181. I got that about a month or so ago now, maybe. This one is in a 6.5 grade. It is a quote-unquote, and look how this thing displays beautifully. It's restored because of there's a small amount of color touch somewhere on this. That means if anyone had a pencil, pen, anything that barely touched it somewhere, bam, you're getting the restored grade. I don't care. Don't bother me no never. I paid $75 for this thing. $75. That's a steal. I think I stayed up late one night and picked that one up. But I'm happy to have that one. That's the first appearance of the Sabretooth. Also, if you've paid attention to We Love Comics and you've paid attention to one of my videos, if you want the cameo appearance of Sabretooth, all you need to do is get Iron Fist number 13. That is still readily available, fairly cheap, and it's Iron Fist number 13. He's like a shadowy figure on the last page of Iron Fist number 13. I picked one of those up real recently too. Sweet. Just getting better. This is Marvel Spotlight number 5. Oh, from 1972. I paid $135. It was a buy it now option, and I said yes, please. This was the first appearance and origin of the Ghost Rider, aka Johnny Blaze. It's also the first appearance of Roxanne Simpson. His origin is, he has to save the life of, he chooses to save the life of his mentor and the man who has become like a father to him. So, Johnny, sorry about that, got interrupted a little bit. So to save the life of his mentor and the man who has become like a father to him, Johnny Blaze makes a deal with the devil, and he's transformed into the spirit of vengeance. The actual first appearance of the old Western Ghost Rider, that occurs like back in like 1952 or somewhere in there. It was in like a Tom Mix, was I believe the Western comic that it was in. But this story sort of reminds me, his origin reminds me of the legendary Robert Johnson. He was a legendary blues player, sort of like the guy who come up with it way back when. And the old story on him is that he left town and he couldn't even play a guitar. Shows back up into town, a couple years, something like that later, and all of a sudden he's this legendary guitar player. And the old, urban legend is that he made a deal with the devil for his talents. So, anyway, paid $1.35 for that. The next comic, I really debated on if this would be my number 1 comic, just due to the fact that it's so hot right now, or if my last one, that's going to be my last one, was just because of its significance to me personally.
The werewolf instinctively seeks to kill the thing it loves best.
But I went with this one for my second to last. Werewolf by Night, number 32, from 1975. I paid $260 for that. That, my friends, is a pretty good deal. It's a 4.5 blue label. $260 here lately for this comic is a good deal. Another one of those I stayed up late at night to watch. This book has blown up. I'm not really sure why it's blowing up. Talked to people in person, read stuff online. There may be a Netflix movie. There may be some type of crossover in one of the Netflix movies. There might be a TV show coming. There might be something. I don't know. But this book has gotten extremely hot. I first started looking for this right about the time he was a character that appeared on the Contest of Champions game. And I don't know if it started blowing up, with a little bit of help from that game, or if it's just been on the rise here in the last several months. But I can remember talking about this to people back into like November, October, and this book starting to climb in price. So if anyone else has any other information on why this book's so hot, please let me know. But this is the first appearance of Mark Spector, aka the Moon Knight. He was created by Doug Minch and Doug Perlin. He was born in Chicago and was an American rabbi's wayward son. It is, as an adult, Spector was a heavyweight boxer, a U.S. Marine, and a mercenary. While working for the African mercenary Raoul Bushman, His group stumbles upon an archaeological dig whose crew included Dr. Peter Alron and his daughter Marlene. The dig uncovered an ancient temple where artifacts included a statue of the Egyptian moon god, I think it's Khonshu. Intent on looting the dig, Bushman kills the doctor. Spectre then challenged Bushman to combat and defeats him, but he's left to die in sub-zero temperatures. And, out in the desert it gets really cold at night. So, roaming Egyptians find him and carry him to their temple. They lay him down in front of the statue Khonshu, where his heart stops beating. He dies. And while he's dead, Khonshu appears to him in a vision, offering him a second chance if he becomes his avatar on Earth. So Spectre agrees and wakes up, wraps himself in the silver shroud that covers Khonshu's statue. He goes back now and defeats Bushman and heads back to the good old USA with Marlene and his friend Frenchie. He decides to be a crime fighter, and he created a silver-cloaked costume based on the silver shroud and becomes the Moon Knight. Now, as a side note, I've heard people refer to him as Marvel's Batman. He was originally based out of L.A., but Moon Knight will spend a majority of his crime-fighting career in NYC. Just like Guess Who? Yes, and everything I've always heard is Gotham is like New York City. You're supposed to be New York City, but it's Gotham. So, both Bruce Wayne and Mark Spector are wealthy. They're normal humans that use gadgetry to fight crime. Now, granted, he's got a little bit more going on, being the Avatar and whatnot, but still, basic, same premise. Per Charlie Huston, who was the writer of the 2006 Moon Knight, he said that the differences between Batman and Moon Knight is that Batman, or Bruce Wayne, is motivated by vengeance for wrong done to his parents. And Mark Spector is motivated by vengeance as a concept. So he's just infatuated with the concept of vengeance, because Khonshu is the Egyptian god of vengeance. I thought it made a pretty good bargain on this one. This is an extremely hot comic. If you can find one out in the wild, man, you are lucky. I found Werewolf by Night 33 out in the wild. It's a rough copy. It's probably a 2.0 or a 2.5, somewhere in there. But this one had a 4.5 grade, blue label. I'm very happy with this one. I am glad to knock this one off my list that I've been doing. I have not shown y'all my list yet, but I have no reason to lie about what would be on my list. So I'm only competing against myself, and there is some reason I haven't shown everybody the list yet, but I'll talk about that here in a minute. So my last comment. This comic is key and important to me because this is the reason I got into comic books in the first place whenever I was a young kid. The guy that was responsible for getting me into comic books was one of my aunt's boyfriends in college. I've talked about this before. He went off to the military. He would send me comic books back. I still have those comic books. He was over in Saudi Arabia and everything during Desert Storm. But he was in love with the Fantastic Four. And specifically, he really enjoyed Silver Surfer. Oh man, this has been a long time coming. I have finally secured Fantastic Four number 48 from 1966. I paid less than $245 for this as well. That is a phenomenal deal for a 5.5 grade. It is a purple label though. Don't get it twisted, it is a purple label. But it's another one of these dang, some small color touch somewhere on it. I don't know where it's at. I'm sure if I got a microscope out and looked real hard I could find it. I don't know. No. That means if anyone has a pencil or a pen or something in the last 40 or 50 years and they've accidentally touched the cover, bam, purple label. I hate that, but I mean I understand it, but It just, like one dot, folks, is my understanding of what will make it a purple label. I digress. Anyways, so this is the first appearance of the Silver Surfer. It's the first cameo appearance of Galactus on the last page. See Fantastic Four number 49 for his first appearance. Silver Surfer was created by Jack Kirby. He's a humanoid with metallic skin who can travel space with the aid of his surfboard-like craft. He was originally a young astronomer named Norrin Rad on the planet Zenlaw. He saved his homeworld from the planet Devour, Galactus, by serving as his herald. So he said, hey, I'll be your herald as long as you don't devour my planet. So Galactus imbued him with a tiny portion of his power cosmic. So Rad acquired vast power, a new body, and a surfboard-like craft on which he could travel faster than light. Now known as the Silver Surfer, Rad roamed the cosmos, searching for planets for Galactus to consume. When he travels to Earth, though, he met the Fantastic Four, and they helped him rediscover his humanity. Quick backstory on this. Kirby and Lee had a disagreement about him and Galactus, and Lee didn't believe in him at first. Whenever, I think the quote was that Lee gave was whenever he saw that Jack Kirby had penciled in Silver Surfer and Galactus, he's like, who is this nut on a surfboard? He didn't understand. He didn't know that Kirby was going to do that. Kirby said, hey man, I'm just tired of seeing spaceships everywhere. This is back in the 60s, so this is back during that boom of trying to get into space. Space is a new frontier. And that was a big deal back then. So spaceships galore during the 50s and 60s. But anyways, it's just a cool little story about how Silver Surfer come to be, and it's all thanks to the great legend of Jack Kirby. So this has just been a phenomenal week and a half or two for me. This is just number one after number one that I was able to get for myself. I hope I didn't come off cocky or anything in there. I don't mean to be cocky or smart alecky. It's just that this was big stuff, man. This kind of stuff just doesn't fall into your lap all the time. And granted, none of these were like cheap. I mean, I didn't I didn't steal anything, but I got some really good deals. I feel like if I didn't, I mean that's cool. That's all right. But I mean, I thought I did pretty good. So let me show you my list real quick. I've been marking some of these off as I went. I just haven't showed them. The reason I didn't show them, and it is a 5.5. Look how that's a beautiful cover. The reason I didn't show my list before this is because I really wanted to try to get some of these comics before I showed my list. I didn't want anybody bidding against me. So the ones I still need to get are Batman. I want an original like Batman 1 through 20. Batman number 1 is probably not going to happen, but I mean, with enough money you can buy anything. But I'd really like to get Batman 1 through 20. It'll probably be more realistic for me to get like 10 through 20. Amazing Spider-Man number 300. Batman 234, that's the first Silver Age appearance of Two-Face. Avengers number 1. I bid the most I've ever bid on a single comic, and I bid $700 and something about 2 weeks or so ago. And I did not win Avengers number 1. I was sort of relieved in one way, but then again, I was like, God, man, that was my chance. I could have gotten Avengers number 1, but I didn't get it. Life goes on. I'll try again. Strange Adventures number 205, Showcase number 34. Strange Adventures number 205 is first appearance of Deadman. Showcase number 34 is the first Silver Age appearance of the Atom. Werewolf by Night 32, I've got that knocked off now. Superpowers Batman by Kenner, the old original one. Action Comics number 148. Giant Size X-Men number 1. Justice League of America number 6. And Detective Comics number 400. So still some big comics out there for me to get. Lots of money to be spent still. But man, this has been a heck of a ride for the last week and a half or two. I've been so excited. Just wanted to wait to get all the first appearances in one video. So I really hope y'all enjoyed it. Thanks for all the comments that y'all do, thumbs up, and the subscribes. Just thanks for everything that you do. Thanks for making this a great community to where we can exchange ideas and thoughts and opinions and information as well. So that's all, folks.
That's all, folks.